You are listening to an exclusive interview on Bass Musician Magazine. The interview starts now. You know, I remember when I first met you, one of the things that you had said to me was, you know, I walked into your place and you had this great studio set up, and it was like, yeah, I keep asking all my friends to show up and come jam, but they never show up because everybody's too busy running around or they don't commit and I don't know what. And I remember how that affected me. And I was saying, damn, I'd go running there in 2 minutes at any day of the time or night. What's wrong with these guys? You know what I mean? Showing up, I guess, is half of the battle, right? It's one thing to be always locked on the gig and stuff, but in order to, shall I say, you know, give fruition to the future, I think showing up also provides great opportunities for new creations that you weren't counting on, like amazing things that you weren't even expecting to happen. They just happen like instantly, you know? That's not always the case, right?
When you don't show up, nothing's possible. You can't create anything if you're not in a sense of presence there. And all that equipment was available there. So many great songs could have been written, but they weren't there. They just didn't show up. So I just learned how to manipulate the drum machine myself and how to play chords on the keyboard. I'm not a keyboard player at all, but I learned how to do step right, so to speak, on my Lin 9000s and step right on the keyboards. Then the synth bass parts, and I'm basically creating guides for the real musicians when I'm ready for them to know what I was trying to express in the different parts of the song, you know, being between bass, keyboards, and of course the drum machine, which I'm pretty prolific at manipulating drums because I'm a drummer. It may take me all day to put it together, doing every note by note by note, by chord by chord by chord. I'm chain linking them together, but at the end of the day, I press play. And you're listening to a song that was in my head.
The lesson here is if somebody's not showing up, then there's certain things that you can move forward on anyways, and it lets you express yourself. And like you said, at the end of the day, you can press play and you're hearing something that was in your head. That is something that I think a lot of bass players and even other musicians need to do, because I've met a lot of people who are like great players who don't even know how to record beyond like on their cell phone or something, which is actually pretty surprising. Nobody's asking anybody to become a master engineer, but there is a certain kind of level of expression that comes from, and it all starts with a beat. You know, for me, as long as you have a great beat sitting there, boom.
Yeah, well, my songs begin with either the beat, but I'm going to tell you something about 70, maybe 60, 70% of my songs start with the bass line. I hear bass from the beginning. So this was my correlation with in my relationship to bass, this being a Bass Player magazine, is that a lot of my songs I write start with a bad bass line in my head, my spirit just comes to me out of nowhere. I'll put it like this, out of the frequency, there's invisible frequency out there, the creative line, so to speak, that once you're proficient enough at the craft and what you can do and creatively, we dial in, we tap into that frequency. It's like dialing a radio station. Us who are professional have worked our way to that level. You can turn it on like this, like a light switch. And always, it happens when you don't want it to. It just comes to you. The signal comes and patterns and rhythms and melodies come. So I hear these, but a lot of my creative songs like that start with a bass line, a bad bass line. And that's, I got to put that down real quick. So I go ahead and put the bass line down and then put the drums to it. Before I forget the bass line, I put it down and program it. Then eventually play the live drums on it. But a lot of my songs are written, this being a Bass Player magazine, are written from the point of view of a bass, the stance of a bass.
I mean, this is why you were the perfect guy to be on the Bass Player cover, because you really wanted to be a bass player and you actually winded up using a lot of your love for bass and you applied it throughout your drumming, which is amazing.
My first love was for bass. So I transitioned it and carried over to my drumming since I got stuck with drums, so to speak. And then my love for bass is carried on, and I express it through my drumming now. So I am a bass player. We're partners, like I said, we're partners in sort of a marriage, so to speak, of the both elements, and I feel kinship to both, and I feel like a hybrid child of both.
How beautiful is that, guys? What does the future hold for Jonathan Moffett? What are you doing right now?
I'm working on music now. I'm getting ready to try to put out some music of my own. I got some anthem songs, some U.S. anthem songs. So I call them New Millennium Anthems. I'm trying to drop those for the 4th of July celebration this year. I got other spiritual music, like I said, that will move the world, awakenings, songs, and as well as some booty shake music too. I'm going to drop as well. I have my MJ my MJ Remember the Time show that I'm going to be trying to book around the country and around both the U.S., Canada, and Europe and Asia. It's me playing with 10 of Michael's songs, and sort of like this Smooth Criminal thing I've done to Drumeo, and want to be starting something. I got all those tracks, and I want to do that show and keep Michael's legacy alive and breathe life into him. You know, when I do the shows, it's like every time you play his music, you breathe life into him. So he's in a living here because that's his voice and that's him and his existence. Keep him on this plane of existence, even though he's in heaven. He got a foot in both realms. So I'm doing that as well. I write poetry and call mindset material. I'm going to be doing a coffee table book of my culmination of my life, my career, and have my poetry in that book as well as video elements and audio elements on a recorded DVD or CD that accompanies the book.
I really think the world is going to be a better place when they get to hear the wisdom, the kindness, and the experience and the humble words that come out from you that really come across to me like a major new kind of toolbox. You know, I love the way you've combined your life's journey, your appreciation and the honor, and working your way up from nothing all the way to just some of the coolest people on earth that will be remembered, like the Beatles, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
What an honor it is to be part of that. And what an honor it is for me to have that 6 degrees of separation, to actually have you as a friend and trip out with you like this is just like, whoa, you gotta love it, you know?
It's a pleasure of mine to be associated with you. And, you know, we go way back, and we've been talking about making something happen. You know, and I'm glad, I'm thankful to you that you brought me involved in this honor. It's a real honor for me to be on a Bass Player magazine, or in any way, form, or fashion associated with Bass Player magazine, which, like I said, was my first love and passion for music. So I'm really honored, you know, to have even been considered for that. And I appreciate you and my friend for giving me that chance to fulfill that dream to be on a Bass Player magazine.
What is the best place for people to go check out what it is you're doing right now?
Well, you can go to my website. It's jmdb.world. That's where most of everything I've done is happening, and the things I'm doing now are announced and are happening. Also, you can go to my Instagram. Is J Moffett MJM. So my Instagram and my Twitter, I believe, is the same. So yeah, you also can go to Drumeo and see my performance on Drumeo. The full performance will be coming out at the end of June. They've released Smooth Criminal and Want to Be Starting Something in my podcast, but the actual full performance and lessons will come out about the end of June. And I've done like 10 songs of Michael's music that'll be released around this between now and then.
Wow, this is amazing. So guys, you've heard it right here. You have been treated by having Jonathan Moffett, Sugarfoot, as they call him. Sugarfoot, I love that. Put the sugar on that foot. I'd like to actually do some kind of picture of your foot with glistening sugar all over it, and all these like bees like kind of flying around because they're pollinating and making that thing happen with that amazing beat got going on there, you know?
As long as the bees don't sting me.
As long as the bees don't sting you.
That's cool.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so guys, this is Jonathan Moffett and Momo coming to you live on a Skype interview. We want to thank you for taking the time to checking us out, and share this, pass it around, take this wisdom and let people know that the bass player's best friend has spoken.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be on the Bass Player magazine. So it means a lot to me. Fulfillment of my original dream. So I'm feeling really honored right now. I thank you, and good luck to all the bass players out there. I wish you all the best. I hope you find your success. Hit your head on the ceiling of the industry so that you can't go any higher. Take it to the top.
Thank you for checking out BassMusicianMagazine.com, the face of bass.